Have you been having crazy dreams? Perhaps arguments with your former partners, or just having really weird conversations with people that cause you to pause and reflect? It's eclipse season, bitch. Does anybody know anything about eagles? Every year around this time, like fall, this whole hillside is just like screeching and chirping, and I think they're fucking, but I'm also not sure. Can somebody please tell me about the eagles' breeding habits? Today's been a perfect day. I got a hole in my shirt. Spent the morning sawing logs with my gal. I like to call them death puzzles. One wrong move and you get smacked in the face. Shout out to all the firefighters working on the fire line cutting wood. That's a dangerous job. Thanks to all those people. I had my first day of college today. That felt pretty good. It's a little bit scary starting school. I mean, it's exhilarating but scary, so to all the people starting school, you got this. Or doing something new. If you're a person doing something new, you got it. Anyways, I wanted to come here and set the record straight. You hear? The other day, an angry person yelled at me, would not let me finish my sentences, and aggressively gestured at me, and I hated it. This person called me a liar. There's an eagle. It's beautiful, my God. I need to get a better camera where I could take like close pictures, because I see a lot of cool animals. I saw a big bull this morning. Anyways, I forgot what I'm talking about. I was called a liar. And I hated it, because the thing is that I'm a Sagittarius. And that means to the core of me, truth is one of the most important things. Took Sasquatch, see that? Got a little action. I like to think I'm a truth speaker. In fact, I think that's one of my primary concerns in life. Sometimes to the point where I will restrict myself and not speak because I'm not sure that the truth that I'm going to say represents the whole truth. I don't know, I get all weird about it. I don't know, okay? Fudge. So I've been contemplating. And I want my boys to know and understand what a liar is and what a liar isn't. That seems really important here too. Because I think a liar is more than just a person who misrepresents facts. That's the liar I think that I am. But I think that is a misrepresentation, or it's just a mistake, a misunderstanding. That doesn't make me a liar. Because I think that truth is somewhat relative. For example, there was a period of time, like 1,000 years, that the top scientists were able to mathematically prove that Earth was the center of the solar system. That was a fact, and they had the math to back it up. And it wasn't until Copernicus came along and just revisited some older theories and redid the math, he figured out that that was not the truth. And that was a moment that a fact or a truth became a not truth. Now, were the scientists before, were they liars? The scientists before Copernicus, were they liars? No. They were just working within the conceptual framework that they had. And what was required to shift that truth or that fact was perspective. So I think that lying is more than just misrepresenting the fact of... I had to recalibrate. Okay, the point that I was trying to make is that the misrepresenting of facts does not make you a liar. It means that you just had a misunderstanding or it was a mistake. I think to be a liar, you have to, in some way, suppress honesty. And that's a tricky one to explain for sure. Honesty is like the truth that is in alignment with your soul. An act of honest, self-aligned expression, that would be truth. So if there is some way in which you suppress that, and this can be a tricky thing, because one of the people that we lie to the most is ourselves, right? There are truths about our souls that we refuse to accept or acknowledge or look at. I think usually those truths have to do with like the hurt places of ourselves, and I think a lot of people lie to protect the injured soul pieces. So when I witness that, honestly, like if I can recognize that they come from a space of hurt when they lie, I don't even really count that as a lie. So that's like a layer to it, the suppression of honesty, soulful alignment. But I think the real like threshold or line that makes a misjudgment move into a mistake is when there is willful intent to distort. That was really hard to say. I don't know why. God, I need to sit on this fuzzy rock. Ugh. It's the crunchy fuzzy. It's not as good. I think that the liar is born when you catch a glimpse of that soulful honesty that you're suppressing, and you choose to suppress it further and then alter your outside and inside reality to match that suppression. When you seek to deceive another or take from another, despite some level of honesty that you have, that is when you're a fucking liar. And I don't think I'm that. At all. That's one of the things that I love about myself, is that I feel like I try to represent the truth. And I have never sought to willfully deceive others. So, yeah, that's the conclusion I came to. And I feel like it's eclipse season, y'all. This is what's occurring, is we're having glimpses into pasts, cycles that we were meant to close, things that we were meant to begin. And this was almost like, that's what this was for me. There's a version of Lindsay that would have believed that I was a liar. There's a version of me that would have like gobbled that down and would have been convinced that I'm a liar. Then there was like a different version of me, of Lindsay, that wouldn't maybe have believed it fully, but I would have been upset and like ruminated and just like really focused on that, which you could argue I'm doing now, but this is it. But the version of me now is like, I can process it, I can do some self-love and activities and like balance myself emotionally, and it's like I don't absorb any of that anymore. Recalibration. While I have you here, I want to ramble about the eclipses. That is what is occurring currently. And if you didn't know, eclipse season is all about the karmic recalibration and alignment of your soul that the universe dishes out. Right? Because in astrology, right, in multiple forms of astrology, the nodal axis occurs on the karmic poles. Right? The space in the universe that represents where our souls have been and where we're going. Because in this reality, there is directionality. A place we've been, a place we're going. Look in your chart to see where that is. It's a very interesting thing to contemplate. Right? And eclipse season occurs when you have new moons and full moons on the nodal axis. So this is like to me, a cycle, a recalibration of your space on the path that your soul is meant to travel. Now, a week or two ago, I'm not quite sure, we had an eclipse on the Leo Aquarius axis. And this was a south node eclipse, so this would indicate sort of the things that you're meant to close out in this cycle. And in and of that closing out, you get a glimpse of, like, sort of the directionality of which you're meant to head, right? Because that door closed and you're like, oh, shit. And then you gotta turn around and go a different way. You get what I'm saying? Right? And the Leo Aquarius axis, eclipse for me was a lot about, like, deciding which torches I would like to put down and which ones that I would like to pick back up. Right? Where am I doing a performative thing that no longer feels like in alignment with my soul, like a forced smile or like holding back from speaking when I know that I should, right? Looking at those things and using that to recognize which torches I wish to pick up and to move forward with. Right, and so that is Leo, the torch holder, and then what you're meant to do is take that torch and bring it to the fabric of society. This is what the universe is asking you at this time to do, right, in the way that is in alignment with your own path. Now, the coming eclipse, it's a full moon on the Pisces Virgo axis. And I'm not quite sure if I want to try to explain this one in depth. I feel like this is one that we all just sort of have to experience, right? Because Pisces represents, the veil. The place where this physical reality becomes the outer realm. It represents the most deeply soulful places within us and in reality. Right? Pisces represents the depth of emotion that we don't even really have words for here. So this one should be an interesting one. A very soulful realignment. And what's interesting is that this full moon also has a Mercury cazimi at the same time. And a cazimi is when a planetary body is in complete alignment with the sun. It's like a purification moment, right? And Mercury is the body of the mind and communication. So it's like whatever soulful alignment we'll get here in I think it's like a week. I'm not sure. I'm the worst astrologer ever. I'm like, it's coming. I think it's Friday in the Pacific Northwest America. Right, we're going to have some, really depthy, feely-y, in a way that we can't explain, soulful realignment. And, in conjunction to that will be, a purification of the mind. So it'll be an interesting one. Whatever soulful realignment you get, you will have a real cognitive awareness of it occurring. So that's why it will be sort of interesting. And then, Uranus is also square to both the moon and the sun during this eclipse, which is also an interesting aspect. Uranus is sort of the revolutionary. It's very wild card, unpredictable energy. So it's we're going to have a soulful realignment that we'll be very cognitively aware of, and how it will come about is sort of something that we could never really expect. I don't know how to explain it. The last, Uranus stuff is when my truck fuel lines break open and spray everywhere. And, it's really things that you could just never anticipate. I don't know why specifically that one comes to mind. I hope to God that shit doesn't happen to me. I'm going to be traveling. Fudge! So pay attention on Friday and like the days, I guess, leading up to it and afterwards. These things can be very powerful. Like, I think a lot of astrology can be really negative. Like, ooh, what's coming? It's unpredictable. And it's like, yes, it will be all of that. But, you know, there is a positive and negative expression to every astrological experience. Like, and don't miss out on the positive version of it, you know? I don't know why I'm rambling about that now. Anyways, I hope you all are doing well out there. I just want to announce to everybody that I am going to transition into a sexy pirate. I'm going to get my ears pierced and tattooed. Maybe some sexy nails and some sexy pirate girl clothes. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I just want to make sure everybody's in the loop. It's osprey and eagles. And they like fly around each other, but it's not like they're fighting each other. It's weird. I don't know. I don't get birds. I don't understand. Is there anybody in the world though that can like help me understand what kind of cameras I need to take baller photographies of birds? Anyways, Earth is literally the best thing. And I think one of the torches that I'm meant to pick up and carry just so passionately is the torch for Earth. And I'm not quite sure, like, exactly how I'm supposed to do that, but I definitely think that that's one of the things. The other thing is just to stand my ground and hold boundaries and set ways in which I wish to be treated and hold people accountable to that. To unashamedly speak more powerfully my own personal truth. Birds are so cool! Oh my god, I wish you guys could see it. One of them just pushed the other out of the nest. Maybe it's a lover's quarrel, I don't know. I hope you guys are doing good out there. Bye now.